GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand, presents Galata Plus at the Berlin Film Festival 2024.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
Hello, Siddhartha Jatla, and congratulations on your film In the Belly of a Tiger being at the Berlinale. How how does it feel? I mean, I know your first film was at Busan. This is your first film at the Berlinale, and I know you're happy and all that. But beyond that happiness, what's it like?
I'm very, very happy. More than that, I'm very happy that, all the three films which are selected this year are from South Indians. I mean, that's a really, really happy feeling also.
Yeah. Now, there are many people who are watching this video, who are going to make a film, their first film, and they're going to say, how do I get my film into a festival? So, before we start talking about In the Belly of a Tiger, can you give a little crash course about this for the sake of those people who want this information?
If you want to get into festivals, especially Indian films, it's a little longer route. You need a little patience to it because you need to first develop the script at the script labs. Then you slowly get to the co-production markets, get the international producers on board. Then you try to, because every country has their own treaties with the respective countries. So, we need to watch out those treaties and figure out how to manage them, and then finally get all the funding come across and then make a film. So this, I believe it's a 5 to 6 years journey if you really want to, get into these top three festivals of the world. Yeah.
Okay. Now, supposing I'm doing a film, I'm not associated with a script lab, right? For example, the Goa Film Festival
Yes.
has a fantastic script
Yeah,
lab.
yeah.
But let's say I've written a script myself, I've got a producer myself. I still want to enter a film festival. I want Berlin, I want Cannes, I want Venice, I want Sundance, whatever it is. How do I do it?
So I think the exceptions are always there because I personally believe that all festivals look for that innocent filmmaker who is just doing his first film and has everything in place in his heart at the right place. I think Vinod Raj, the one whom I'm sharing the space in the forum section with him. His first film worked wonders, right? Like Pebbles. I think like what you're explaining me, like he just got a producer, hasn't been to the script lab. But what more script labs are? His own life was a script lab. So he just put it across on Pebbles, and
It's
he's in
just
Rotterdam. He won the Tiger Award. Like same like me, like I just took a 5D camera and shot a film in 10 days, and made it to Busan. So it's like that.
it's like that. You
Yeah.
didn't go through a script lab or
No,
anything
no, no.
like
The
that.
first film, no.
Yeah,
It's
but
the spirit.
this one you did.
Yes.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
This is I don't want to spoil too much of the film, but this is a film about that mixes a mythological element with the reality, and you put it across. Just for the sake of explaining this, it's basically about people living in extreme poverty and how the system exploits them.
Yes.
But unlike the usual films of this nature, you add a layer of mythology and make it a little surreal.
Yes.
How did adding this mythological surreal element idea come to you?
Okay. So basically, so there are two ways, when I have been to these villages, and I have seen those harsh conditions, what you're talking about, the only respite is God. That's their only hope. And, when I have been to these Ram Leelas and, other mythological plays and all, and I have seen these villagers, cry, laugh, and feeling hopeful, at the end of the play. I felt, God is, the only biggest comfort. And, then the mythology came into my thought process. And also adding this surrealism also is also because, my most favorite director, or I have learned a lot, like like a Ekalavya from Kim Ki-duk.
Okay.
The way he uses surrealism into the subject and how he transforms it into a narrative structure is something I learned from Kim Ki-duk. And if you ask me personally, as a kid, I was always into gods. And if I had some problem in my school or something, I used to pray to, God and say that something should happen and all that.
You're no longer like that.
That's still there. I think that's why
Did you say thank you God for getting me to the Berlin Film Festival?
absolutely. So I'm a firm believer. So, South Indians and my mom, the way I was brought up, and I'm a firm believer of God. And I think it's also good to be, have some hope in our lives. That's the most important. That's what I put in the script also. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think again, without spoiling anything, I think the lovely layer of having God literally in the film through a stage play
Yeah.
there's a stage play. I mean, not a very complicated stage because it's a village, but a small. There are actors playing Vishnu and Lakshmi,
Yes.
and Vishnu is saying, "I will protect the people who believe in me,
Yes.
my devotees."
Yes.
So yes, there is a level of God, but what made you say, I'm going to project this as a Vishnu and Lakshmi that I can actually see, that the villagers can actually see inside the movie?
So basically, we're talking about Gajendra Moksh, and Gajendra Moksh is one of the most famous folk tales, you know.
Yeah.
And you know, if you observe it, it's all about this crocodile trying to cling on to this elephant's leg. And somewhere down the line in the real world, also, we are all surrounded by these desires, and you know, the crocodile is a sin. So you know, unless and until we succumb to God truly, completely, He won't come and rescue us. And this is what I felt, you know. Generally in life also we are all like that, right? We are trying to make name, we are trying to, you know, get some fame, or you know, we have all our desires. But to be innocent, to be honest, as much as possible, if we can achieve that, then you know, God will always be there with us. You know, this is what I have, this hopeful feeling. This is why I put the mythology.
Right. So the tiger in your title also refers to India.
Yeah.
How did you come up on the title in the belly of a tiger?
It also starts from mythology, like you know, Gajendra Moksha, like you know how you know from the Nabhi, the lotus erupts, right? So it's all connecting, and you know, and the workers are all working, you know, my film for their belly, to fill their bellies, and there's this tiger also there, and also this Vishnu coming out, you know, from the belly. So all this, I felt it was very interconnected with the thing. So that's
Yeah.
how the in the belly of a tiger has.
That's a beautiful title because again, I think one will have to see the movie to see how everything comes about. But
Yeah.
that's very nice. Now tell me one thing. You know, we all grow up with mainstream films, right?
Yes.
We
Yes.
watch hardcore song, dance, action, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. And then some of you guys, you come and make this very different kind of movie. What I want to ask is, not that you cannot make this, but is there a filmmaker inside that says, I want to make that kind of film also?
Sir, to tell you honestly, I am a Telugu, and I'm born and brought up and seen Chiranjeevi films, sir. That Dishum is there internal in my blood, you know. So obviously, once I got into the film school, then obviously we have seen Tarkovsky films and all. But generally, basically,
The DNA.
Rajinikanth, the DNA is Chiranjeevi and you know, Rajinikanth. So you know, I've done this. Now my next film, I'm definitely going to do a commercial film too, so that you know, it will be a good learning experience to me, a challenge also, so that you know, I have done this, now I want to do that also, because I firmly believe, if you have seen my first film also, it's a very commercial film actually, though it has traveled to festivals.
Right.
So it's there.
Right. Now, is it possible to exist as a director who has one foot in the festival space and one foot in the mainstream cinema space?
I think, sir, most of the, I think that's the quality of a filmmaker, right? If you can adapt to all the conditions, then you are you are there, you know. So, you know, like Martin Scorsese, he can do Wolf of Wall Street, and suddenly he can do Silence, which is so philosophical and so spiritual. So, you know, I'm not saying that I want to be Martin Scorsese, but you know, if we
Why
such kind,
not?
you know, I mean, such kind of masters have inspired us, we should also aspire to do something like that. You know, we should put across everywhere and try to make good cinema at the end of the day.
Right. How do you define good cinema?
For
It's a
me,
very subjective thing,
yeah,
right?
it's a
Yeah.
very subjective thing. For me, good cinema is something where, you know, people can relate to. You know, for me, if people can relate to the subject, people can cry and laugh on the script, whatever little thing you have created, and if they can relate to it, that's good cinema. Because at the end of the day, it all has to evoke a debate or a talk after watching the film. If that can be possible, then that's good cinema, is what I feel.
Right. Now, when Satyajit Ray made films about the poverty in India,
Yeah.
there was some criticism from some quarters that he was doing poverty porn,
Yes.
that he was exploiting India's situation so that Westerners who have this typical idea of India, they're going to get an idea of India that is pre-sold to them.
Yes.
Now, your film is also about poverty and oppression and systemic oppression at
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
It's a very good film. And I don't believe that criticism about Satyajit Ray's film cinema at all. But what do you think about that criticism?
So, sir, I understand what you're saying. This is
I
the
didn't say that. Somebody else said that. Yeah.
so it's a conscious decision. What this is what I have taken also in my film, that I know that I'm dealing with poverty, but I believe in dignity of characters, dignity, giving dignity to the humans there. So which is why if you notice in this film, the costumes, I've given them bright colors. I made them wear very saturated poppy colors with great designs, because this is what I aspire my characters are. They are wonderful people who are just being stuck by poverty, and that's why I didn't want them to have a lot of dirt on it. I understand what you're saying, those typical poverty stuff, which is why I've taken a very conscious decision of making them wear good costumes, strikingly visually beautiful places. And as like you were saying, Uttar Pradesh also, where we have shot it, that has a certain visual imagery in a lot of Indian audiences. But when I went to this location, it was beautiful locations. Everything was beautiful, but there was certain poverty there, which is what I try to evoke in the film.
Film. Beautiful answer. I want to ask you this. There is one section in the film. The film is, of course, about a family,
Yeah.
and of course, they're
Yeah.
working
Yeah.
in order to make ends
Yeah.
meet. They're very poor, all that kind of stuff. But there is one section in the film which is about towards the end, where it becomes a beautiful, mature love story.
Yes.
I did not expect that at all. Because so far we're seeing the son struggle, we're seeing all that. There are talk about debts and this and that, and suddenly, out of nowhere, there's this fantastic love story.
Yes.
While writing, how did that come about? Was it always there in the writing, or did it just like at some point you said, I need something very human and beautiful and surreal, and I want to put that there?
I think half of my answer is given by you yourself. I would, elaborate it in such a way that I believe in love stories. Right from our childhood, I've seen love stories by Mani Ratnam. I'm highly inspired by Mani Ratnam love stories. And then I do believe love is the only thing which can conquer the world. And as I told you, I'm a huge fan of Kim Ki-duk films. So if you notice Kim Ki-duk films also, it's like the first half of the film goes in one direction, and suddenly out of the blue, 360-degree turn it takes, and you won't even expect it.
Right.
So it's like my sweet tribute to the great master, and the love has always been there. My films always deal with love. My third film is also going to be a different love story, but I really believe in love. Yeah.
That's nice because there's one thing that we never see or very rarely see is mature love.
Yes.
We always see youngsters being in love.
Yes.
We always see young love stories, but we don't see an older couple expressing their love for each other. And especially in India, many older couples don't really they don't show or talk about I love you and things like that.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
an understated,
Yes.
understood kind of love.
Yes.
To see that love being brought to the front
Yes.
was beautiful.
Yes.
I really like that.
Yeah.
That
I'm glad that you liked it, because that's what I exactly believe also, that many of it's basically in my own family also. There is an uncle and aunt. My uncle is always very serious, and one day when they were sleeping in one a corner, I was just awake. I don't know why, and then he was talking so sweet to my aunt, and I was, is this the same guy who speaks who's so serious in life? So suddenly I think that was a certain inspiration in me, and that's how this came across, and that's what in the climax, the way they both express it, it comes across so beautifully.
right. Visually speaking, there's a very dramatic opening image. Uh, should I talk about it or?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
a little,
So
yes.
just the fact that there is a man, a close up of a face, and let's just say there is blood involved, and that striking opening image, was that always the opening image that you had?
Yes, absolutely. From the very first day, I had that in my mind. And if you notice, the first frame starts with a close up, and the end frame also
Ends
ends
with
with
that
the
close
close up
up. Yeah.
again. It is actually asking the audience, look around, this is happening.
Right,
It's around.
and it's curious because Vinod Raj's film as well, it ends by asking the audience to look around, and Yeah, I'm just going to
It's
leave.
very strange because he also has Rooster in his film, and in my film also Rooster, the second half,
Yeah,
Rooster plays a very
yeah,
important role in
yeah.
the
You
film.
guys must have been like telepathically.
I know, and we have gelled also very
You
well.
met him here?
Yeah, yeah, we were there with in the opening gala. He sat next to me. Yeah, it was great talking
It's
to him.
great. So, when somebody wants to make a film like this, right, an art house film, for lack of a better word, right, because I know there are some people who say that there is no art film, commercial film, there is only good film, bad film, but I do believe that there is something a mainstream audience likes to see and something that a slightly specialized audience likes to see. I'm not saying which is greater or lesser, but that's the case, right? What are the things to keep in mind while you are writing such a script?
Sir, I firmly believe that human emotions is a universal language,
Right.
either art film or so-called art or so-called commercial. If human emotions can, the characters' human emotions can connect to the audience, it goes beyond boundaries, sir. Then
Wonderful.
it crosses everything
Right.
on the path. Yeah, and that's what I truly believe. And you know, this wonderful Chinese film, if you have noticed, last year it came, Return to Dust.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, such a beautiful film. It's an so-called, again, it was an artistic film, but then look at the box office collection what it has made. You know, because it's the human emotions which connected. You know, I cried sitting in Mumbai. I just cried watching the film,
Yeah.
and that's happening somewhere in China. You know, that's how it is.
But do you think there is also a part of being true to yourself? As in, many people construct films saying that the audience will like this, the audience will like that. I need a song here, I need a comedy scene here, I need this. So they are a little constructed.
Yeah.
But do you think the way to get across, whether it's art or commercial, the way to really make a good film is to not worry about the audience and to stay true to yourself?
I think you should stay true to yourself, be very honest, and also write what you want the story to be presentable, right? You know what you want it to look like, and then you know somewhere down the line, I do believe that you know if you are honest, audience definitely connects to you. You know they will immediately notice it. I think audience are the most intelligent. You know people all you know we are all there, we theorize things and all that, but audience gives the best decision, and you know that's how it is.
Right.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and it's really a good film. I was like really, like I said, I was not expecting this treatment, this narrative style, this surrealism, and more importantly, the way the movie gets into a zone at the end
Yes.
where you think it is about the sun, and it turns out to be about something else. Though it's been hinted at earlier.
Yeah.
So I thought it was beautiful. Thank you so much, and I all the best for your next film. Have you thought about it, or
Yeah, it's going to be a
that big
love.
mainstream film?
It's a big mainstream love story once again, but a different kind of a love story this
Okay,
time. You know, that's
great.
how it is.
Have you got a producer?
Working on it, sir, because this film already I had producers from 5 countries. It was a you know Chinese, Taiwanese, Indian, Indonesian, American collaboration. So trying for the third film in a much more better way and much more.
Oh, you're still going to go with international collaborators?
Yes, yes, yes. On the third film too. Most probably, I might shoot in a foreign land. Yeah,
Okay,
involving
but
foreign
is it going to be a
actors.
Telugu film?
It's going to be an Indian Hindi film. It will involve Indian actors and actors from the foreign land. Now, which place where I'm just still thinking,
Right,
processing.
right. Just as a matter of curiosity, because you said you grew up watching Chiranjeevi films and all that, now you're going to Uttar Pradesh, you're living there for some time, you're living. How much of a culture can we truly understand when we are not a part of it? Is there a part of it that is all of us that is always going to be an outsider, or is there a way to get to be an insider to that culture despite the fact that we are from anywhere in India?
Well, sir, India is a vast, beautiful country. And, you know, when my journey to, you know, it's a very funny thing because, you know, North Indians, especially in Uttar Pradesh or, you know, all the part of North India, they have immense love towards South Indians because of these South Indian movies playing in the Sony TV, Setmax, Suryavanshi and all. So, you know, when I used to talk, immediately they could figure out that I'm a South Indian. And they had immense love towards me, you know, all the Uttar Pradesh. I had wonderful time in that village because I was a South Indian, they were much more kind to me, much more welcoming to me. So I do feel that you know that love actually conquered everything, and I could understand their culture, the whole thing, and they were very welcome to it. And that's how I never felt that I was in a foreign land. Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Again, we come back to love.
Yes.
That conquers everything.
Yes.
Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you.
GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.